Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you for joining me. This is a very important message. Food is fuel. Unfortunately, we're not buying food anymore, we're buying products. And let me tell you, please, for at least 5 years, seven, I don't keep track of time, but it's been a long minute. I have completely shapeshifted my whole entire life. I don't touch gluten, I don't touch sugar, I read labels. I try my best to eat live food. I have completely transformed how I feel because of it. I'm telling you, I thought I had anxiety, panic attacks, all these things the doctors were telling me, but it was food related. I was addicted to sugar. Reflect on how much you consume of that. Because personally, for me, I was putting 6 sugars in a medium tea. And I remember the one day at Tim Hortons, the girl didn't even make it. She just has my cup as I come to the window and she shows me and she's like, seriously? And I'm like, don't judge me, just make my tea, just make my tea. And I just loved pasta. I loved sandwiches. I love pizza. I love everything that everybody has been taught to love. Not recognizing that it was causing extreme emotional and mental damage to me. But because I am so excited all the time about learning how to ensure that let me figure out how to hold this. I had to figure out what really works and recognizing that food is fuel and we have to watch what we consume because wow. Okay, let me share with you what's happened recently. So, truly clean, like did not break my trend for over 5 years of not eating gluten and sugar. And over the last 2 weeks, I was in a position where people were buying food every day. And I was making the choices like I'd buy pho soup, it's got rice noodles. And so but I don't usually ever eat out. So for the last couple of days, I ate what I thought were the healthier fast food choices. And then all of a sudden, I can't even believe I didn't recognize this, but I had this intense craving, like I wanted salami and bacon, and I had not had that in so long. Yes, I used to love it, like absolutely love it, but I hadn't consumed it. And I get this craving, and I'm like, well, you know what? I'm sure it's fine. I can handle it. And I don't know if you can see, look at my face. I've broken out. Anyhow, broke out, had emotional dysregulation where I did everything like my yoga, I smudged, I took a shower, I did Reiki, and I still could not get rid of this intense, emotional, angry, distressed feeling. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I get to reflect on the contrast again. It's devastating. I even cried today. And like, I know that's not mine. That's not mine. Now, here's what I do know because what I've learned, our gut is like the direct cord to the most important part of our brain. And we were not taught the importance that our body needs certain vitamins and minerals. And I mean, we're catching on because everyone's taking supplements and we're recognizing that our body needs it, but we're not recognizing the effects that these products have on us. And tried, tested, and true, I am telling you, it's not you. Please understand that all these things they're trying to tell you that you have, diagnoses and whatever illness, is directly related. Please cut that stuff out and you will see such a difference. Because as if my body told me that I wanted salami and bacon and I fell for it. I can't even, but this is amazing because the contrast is incredible. Like I'm never doing that again under any circumstance. It's going to take me a week to detox this. So that said, everybody needs to start paying a little more attention. Like we're so impulsive, and it's not, I'm telling you, that was a chemical from whatever they're putting in it. It sends messages to our brain that we want it. Okay. It's like crazy. And you have to recognize that those impulses, when you think, well, I could just have that bag of chips, I'm just going to have those Oreos, I'm just going to have the Doritos, those particular products for real have chemicals in them that don't even tell your body you're full. Reflect. Everyone can hammer the entire bag of Doritos and not still feel hungry after. But if I was to give you a big bowl of salad, could you eat the whole thing? No, because your body would tell you you're full. They've literally added chemical ingredients to so many things that are doing so much more than we're even conscious of. And they don't want us conscious of that because they love that we have to go and get help. Careful. Like, wow. So how did I transform my entire diet? Was because the system, the doctors started trying to tell me that I was going to be diagnosed with this, that, and the other thing because I was having gut issues, and I was from what I was eating, but they weren't going there. They wanted to quickly diagnose. So I was like, but here's the thing. Common sense tells me if I break a bone, my body figures out how to heal it. I cut myself, my body figures out how to heal it. So here's a thought. How about I go and figure out what my body needs and maybe it'll heal it? And the doctor was like, well, no, like that, this is serious and it's incurable. And I'm like, I'm going to try. So on the journey I went, and it started with like chiropractic because you want a spinal alignment. And then I found out about naturopaths. Transformed my life over 3.5 years, well, decades of suffering. Here's the thing, suffering now that I've got the contrast, we all think it's normal to feel bloated and gassy and, just I call it gut rot when you've got that like consistent cramp and, just tired all of the time, just tired and wanting more sugar, and crash and just not mentally right. And just all of those things were normal. But I'm on the other side where I've had consistent, beautiful energy. If anything comes up, I could just regulate so easily and in balance, true balance, right? So the naturopath started to teach me about what my body needed. Coolest thing about this doctor is he says, I'm working myself out of business because you're going to heal yourself. And the only way I get business is referrals. And so how awesome is that? And truly 3.5 weeks, 3.5 weeks, I went back to specialists. They did all the tests and they were like, we don't know what you're doing, but keep it up, I guess. And they weren't happy about it, right? And wanted to continue to pursue anyhow. I was like, not today. Let me find another way. And that led me into more natural healing. And it just keeps rippling and getting better and better. And it's like, how could it get any better than this? And you know what? It does. So then I go into like energy healing and become a Reiki master practitioner and start to understand the importance of energy. Food is our fuel. If we put the right fuel in, then we have the right energy. And when you start to learn how to work with your energy and you're giving your body what it needs, now we're talking. Things are getting into harmony and magic can happen. This is fun. So it led into like reflexology. Did you know there's a lot more than what they taught us in school, where it's like head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees. There's a little bit more to that. Like she was doing things where she's touching like my jaw and fixing my knee, or like it wasn't that, but but it was amazing to start to learn how we have all of these like energy centers, and then you've got pressure points in all different parts of your body that can connect and release. And it's just amazing when you start to learn that our medical industry that tries to say all of these things are alternative medicine are truly the original traditional medicines, and they're the alternative, but they don't want you to catch on to that. So pretend that you believe it. And because really, if we use common sense, tell me we weren't manipulated to believe that And they were telling us, come and get this med. You have this issue? Here's this med. However, side effects may be. But because you want relief so quickly from that symptom, instead of looking at the root cause, giving your body what it needs, and truly healing, we run for the quick fix. Why? We were taught to. Best thing I love, when you're taught something, you can unlearn it. So, but it takes a lot of work. I'm going to tell you from experience, it took a lot of work. This meant incredible self-discipline. It meant that I had to make sure that I stuck to it. And it wasn't easy at first, but it became easier. And then it became my everyday. And it became just so easy to say no to the things that I knew were going to only taste good for 30 seconds. And I was going to feel terrible for the next 13 days. So I started doing like smell tastes. Here, like, let me smell it. And then I'd be like, oh, yeah, I had a good taste. That was good. Don't need to eat it. Don't need to put it into my body. I love to say, you wouldn't put Windex into your gas tank of your vehicle. So why? Why wouldn't you do that? Because it would be like sputtering and ticking and not running right, correct? But we don't even look at our own bodies like that. And yet, you can't really take your vehicle in and just get another one. This is it. So I think it's important. But here's the thing. It takes discipline. You got to care enough. And don't be too hard on yourself. Here's the fun part. What you do is contrast. So, okay, you're cutting out sugar. So you really are craving sugar, and you will. Like, cut up an apple, add cinnamon, berries, like everything that's a natural sugar, and get your fix, but don't eat the junk. And then eventually you won't crave it anymore. And say you have a really good run where you're like, okay, a week off, I haven't touched it for like a week. And then you do, just pay attention. This is how I learned. The best thing was the contrast. As I'm sharing this today is because of the contrast with the salami and bacon. It's the contrast that teach us. And it keeps confirming to me, right? So you have the sugar, don't have the sugar, and you'll feel it. You're going to feel it. Cutting out gluten, that's incredible. Cut out pizza or pasta and stuff like bread, even for a couple of days, and then have it again. You're going to be like, oh, I feel so too full. Like, even if you were going for a burger, get it lettuce wrapped instead of the bun, and feel just in that example, you will feel a difference. Please comment. If you go and try that, tell me that you don't feel a different full. It's so incredible, but it's just about starting to become conscious. Like, how do these things really make me feel? That's what the naturopath had me do. The 3-day on duration, 3 days off, 3 days on. He goes, and then just listen to your body. Just document, like, how do you go to the bathroom? How do you feel? What's your energy level? How'd you sleep? And you'll see real quick. And then it becomes easier and easier. And then everyone says, well, what do you eat? Well, you start to figure out different foods. And when you start eating real foods like fruits and vegetables and as much live foods as you can, coolest part, I started craving salads, craving what I knew my body needed, as in nutrients and the minerals and vitamins that it needs to survive. Was so cool. Like, it is so cool to just know what my body needs now. And I don't ever feel like a really dark tired. I just start to feel, and that you never get that feeling of like, I'm so hungry, like I'm hangry, I could eat anything right now. You don't get that anymore when you cut out all the products. You'll start to just crave food. You'll get hungry, but it's not grumbly. It's not starving. It's just like your body will start to go like, oh, I really could use. And you'll feel it. Like, I would love a salad. I crave a pepper or the pickle or just something more real. And it'll have what your body needs. And then you just feel satisfied. And there's no digestion sensations. When you just feel good. You're full, you're satisfied, and you feel good. You're energized. You don't need to like lay on the couch and unbutton your pants, you know? Oh, we all do that too often. Well, conditioned to, right? So it's, again, let's learn, let's unlearn, relearn. Once we know better, we can do better, but we got to care enough to want to know better first. So yeah, I want you to know it is not you feeling the things that you're feeling by yourself. You'll know this if you try and cut some of this stuff out and just listen and pay attention to the contrast. It's incredible what you can do also when you feel imbalance, when you're not having consistent anxiety and stress and feeling like crap all the time. Dairy and all of that also is the massive cause of inflammation. So a lot of like aches and pains in your joints and like arthritis concepts, that's all from inflammation, and it's dairy related. And that's only since they took over and revamped it, because I grew up next to a dairy farm and we had real milk out the cow's belly, still warm, cream this thick on the top, and it was good for you. And it's funny how now they're like, don't touch it. Yeah, I remember the day when they were like, sorry, we can't sell it anymore because the government stepped in. But I probably shouldn't have said that word. Anyhow, so if something that I'm sharing resonates, please feel free to join me on this journey I call my life, the journey we all call life, but really we're a soul having a human experience. And there's so much to learn. And together, I feel, is how we rise. We've got to share what we have experienced, what we think we know today, till we learn something new tomorrow. And that's, you know, how else are we going to find out the truth? Because I'll tell you, they're not teaching it in school, and you're not going to find it on the news. And nowhere where there's easy access to information is any of that the truth. That's what I learned. You got to dig for it. You got to read a book. You got to search for those, the ancient wisdom, they call it, right? People been talking for a long time trying to share this, but nobody was allowing it before. But here we are. New year, new you, new world, one love. We got this. Together we rise. Care enough to be the change. Much love and light as we all rise and shine.